Fauci, baby! The fire is on fire!
I have a cheer now. That's fantastic. I didn't know I had a cheer. That's
You
so
do?
good. Yeah.
I just ripped that. I'm excited.
It's on fire.
Were you a cheerleader?
I might have been.
That's okay.
I like wear it on the inside, you know?
Okay, I like your enthusiasm.
Of course.
I would be a cliche at my age if I were a cheerleader now. But, I do watch an inordinate amount of reality TV and the Dallas Cowboy cheerleaders.
I love that show. I've been watching it for 10 years.
You have?
Yes,
If they ever do the women of a certain age version, I would go in.
You should be a celebrity judge.
Yeah.
I would cork it out.
Yeah.
I was not a cheerleader, so.
They work hard.
Kind of surprised.
They do. They work hard.
Yeah.
So,
You're not going to get me. You're not trapping me. I appreciate their hard work.
no. So, and they're all like balancing 80 million things in their lives.
Right.
I mean, seriously, I do love the show. I'm fascinated that you
I've been
watch.
watching for 10 years. I'm
Have you really?
obsessed. Yes.
Awesome.
So
And the
CMC.
leadership that they have in
love
the
it.
organization to those other women, just
Because
fantastic.
they're ambassadors, too. Yeah.
They are.
They take it very seriously.
So,
Well, at least the
what do
Cowboys
we have on
lost, and
Facebook?
that's what's important.
can we go back to the
Get back
total
to
number of Democrats saying that they're going to sit out? We're at 46 now.
Right.
Obviously, that number is going to probably continue to go up, considering this is Tuesday. And
I don't know. You max out. I mean, you figure in the Democratic caucus, you probably are getting pretty close to the max out point. So you lose a lot of the CBC, Congressional Black Caucus. You'll lose some of the very hardcore, very liberal members, some members of the Congressional Hispanic Caucus. But by and large, this is not going to wear well. And as you get closer to the day, this is not something that's going to look good. And as you see Cory Booker and others, as we talked about, as they figure out that there's a way to do this, it's about, look, John Quincy Adams did not attend. He was the first predecessor not to attend his successor's inaugural. History did not treat it well. It did not treat his choice well, nor did it help him, nor did it do anything to prevent he hated Andrew Jackson and what Andrew Jackson brought, and he left in defiance and did not stay to see his successor inaugurated. And he paid a price for it in history, and also his party paid a price for leaving the space. They left the space. They backed away at just the very moment that they should have engaged in the moment. And President Obama is telling his party right now, get in the pool. Get in the pool. Stay in the space. Welcome him. Say congratulations. And now we're gonna fight. But for today, welcome and congratulations.
Is he really telling them that though? Because on Obamacare, he said, "Don't rescue them. Just get the word out that it's all their fault." I mean, I guess I'm hearing it differently.
What I'm saying is, there's the part of it that's about the Republic, and then there's a part of it that's about the politics.
Okay.
So the part of it that's about the Republic is he won the election. The best thing, in many ways, that the United States has going for it is the unbroken line of peaceful transfers of power, dating back to George Washington, 219 years. This is the 45th president of the United States. This is an astonishing thing. This is literally the envy of the world. France is on its 6th republic since its revolution. We are on our 1st. This is great work. Whether or not you can celebrate Donald Trump, whether you can celebrate his victory, whether you can celebrate even the office of the presidency, that's up to you. But if you can't celebrate the fact that we have done this successfully so long, you're missing the point of what's going on. That's something everybody ought to be able to celebrate.
And Meghan and I were just chatting about that on the side here. You're right. It's like you gotta, if you're going to resist, if that's going to be the mantra that the Dems are going to go with policy-wise, I don't have a problem with that. But you got to be in their face. You know, when you back out, when you retreat in this way, I think it's a missed opportunity. It's a missed opportunity to resist in a way that's going to result in meaningful change policy-wise as they intend.
Well, one thing I would say, because I think, Meghan, you brought this up, Congressman John Lewis, civil rights icon, has said that, he also didn't want to go to George W. Bush's.
Right.
And he didn't attend because he said that president and that presidency were not legitimate. How can you make the same argument then all these years later about a different person when all of the facts leading up to the election, the details about how many people voted, the electoral count, when everything is different? I mean, what is his benchmark? It obviously is not the Constitution.
Well, if you don't like the system, so the Democrats
but that's not in the Constitution.
Right, but the Democrats
if you don't like.
The Democrats
an opt-out here.
The Democrats have a problem,
I didn't see that either.
and that is they want to be populists, right? They want to be populist. They want to say that they're the party of the people and that they're the everyman party, and they're all of that stuff. But for them, they have become increasingly the party of not every man, but of the urban, often elites, but also poor folks who live in urban areas. Their party has become very concentrated in the small geographic area. As it turns out, that doesn't work very well for how you govern the country. And their inability to connect with voters who live in smaller communities and in rural areas has been dire for them. And they've lost not just the presidency now and the Senate and the House, but also the wipeout in the state houses across the country, the governorships, and in control of the state legislatures. It's been a disaster. And I would say this. At some point, Democrats have to accept that they live in a republic that empowers states, and they have to acknowledge what this is. This is not a democracy. This is a republic. And they got to get with that and figure that out at some point, or I guess start amending the Constitution.
What's going on Facebook?
Well, Facebook is all up in arms about the actual inauguration. You were talking about you expect a lot of protests to be happening.
Oh,
but
yeah.
Confrontational protests for those in support of Donald Trump, those anti. But the actual inauguration itself, fascinating to learn that President Obama's first inaugural festivities stretched over 5 days. Donald Trump spending barely 3 on his. Bill Clinton, 14 official balls on the day he was sworn in. Trump plans appearances at 3. This is going to be a lot different.
Well, it is going to be a lot different.
A workmanlike inauguration.
Part of it is out of necessity because of the controversy, and also because we've seen the star-studded Palooza effect has not been within reach for Trump. But I would also say that Trump, I assume, wants to match the attitude of his supporters, which is get to work. Right? He's trying to telegraph, and he.
Well, that's what his team is saying. Boris Epstein was on Fox Report with me a couple of weeks ago. He's in charge of the whole setup, and he said that they decidedly went this way because he wants to tell the country that his main concern is just getting to work, which is why he put out information on the executive orders early.
Right.
But you know, we'll see what happens.
But I will say it's something they should not feel bad about celebrating. You should thank your supporters. You should celebrate. It's not wrong.
Well, he had the thank you tour.
Sure.
Well, he had the thank you tour, but it's not wrong to celebrate at this moment. Jimmy Carter made a mistake in 1977. They had the People's Inaugural, and they served peanuts and pretzels, and it was not cool. They carried their own luggage.
Hitting the head with one of those.
Right.
That could hurt.
But you have to say that this is something you're proud of. You have to thank your supporters, and as I was saying before, you have to say this is awesome that our country can do this. So it's right to celebrate.
All right. So I just kind of want to tick down. We don't have to answer everyone, but we have so many people on our live chat right now. Southside 631. And she quotes another anchor on a different network, told me more people sat out Nixon's inauguration, that this is not unprecedented. If you have something you want to say, speak up. I'm liking the ones that I think are interesting.
Okay.
Rock Oz says, did President Obama RSVP the inauguration of Donald J. Trump?
Oh, big time.
Yeah, he's going.
Yeah, he'll be there.
He'll be there.
So will Hillary.
Okay.
Yeah.
And anything from Facebook?
No, going back to the People's Inauguration and Jimmy Carter, for our fashionistas on the couch, you'll remember the First Lady opted to wear the same blue satin gown she had at his gubernatorial inauguration in Georgia 6 years earlier.
We don't, so Americans like it when you recognize that I think Donald Trump, as the billionaire populist, is a good example of this. People like it if you understand their struggles, but they don't necessarily want you to struggle with them.
That's exactly right.
Yeah, also,
It's like
we should
prosperity.
have,
Oh, go ahead, Megan.
no, I mean,
to write that
I think
down.
there's something to be said for any president being elected in a moment of celebration, and especially given this last controversial, long, arduous, intense election process. They certainly have a right to celebrate, and I think when you're talking about fashion and things like that, a lot of women in the country would be disappointed if Ivanka or Melania show up in a dress they've already worn before. I think that would actually be a big issue.
Yes, exactly.
You don't even do that on Outnumbered.
No, it's something new. No, I get it. I think in theory, but I think I agree with you two on this. Like, it's like prosperity preaching, right? You know, people are having struggles, but they still want something they can aspire to lead. I think that's very much okay.
Yeah.
The Joel Osteen effect.
That's right.
Jeff Stinsman says, love your show, watch it every day. Great hour of cardio. Is he working out while he's watching?
That's what my mom
Better
said.
than me.
I love that. Can we take credit for that workout?
All right, Sarah, well, thank you.
Style was on fire, and we were glad you were with us. Have a good day.
Bye, guys.